Now that we understand how to make a variation of a clone block, in this module, we're going to dive in a little bit deeper to show you how you can make more advanced block variations. Here you'll see 3 advanced variations of the Sawtooth Star block that Wendy of the Weekend Quilter designed for our QuiltCon workshop in 2023. The original Sawtooth Star is on the left, and variation 1, 2, and 3 have subtle differences where the block pieces are being used in a different way, meaning they're using different fabrics than the original Sawtooth Star. The overall construction and design of it is mostly the same, except for variation 3 that has a half square triangle instead of a center square. But overall, it's still the same design, just with subtle changes. And I'm going to show you how to make those changes here. So for variation 1, we're going to start by cloning Sawtooth Star 2. And we know that this is going to be an exact clone, so we're going to want to use new fabric links or different fabric links to make an essential change. This star actually has a different center square fabric than the solid star fabric. And so we're going to start with the center square and link that to the same fabric that is being used for the background, which is fabric link C. And so now you can see we kind of have this like center hole in our Sawtooth Star square. You can also turn off the grid lines if you want to see a little bit more of the star without that distraction grid line. So the next thing is to then change these diagonal kind of bow tie half square triangle pieces to a third fabric link. And so what I've done is I've hit the shift button and I've clicked on all of those shapes, and now I'm going to link them to fabric link A. So now when we save it, we're going to see that now this block has been updated, but it has not been changed or added to the overall quilt. We can do that now by quick selecting and then clicking Add to Quilt to see what that would look like. To create variation 2, we're going to go back and we're going to clone the block that we just created because version 1 and version 2 are very similar. And we're going to note that the biggest change with this block is that the center square is using that yellow fabric, or in this case, the green fabric, which is fabric link B. Our initial instinct is going to be just to change the fabric being used by C, but we don't want to do that. We actually want to select it and link it to fabric link B. And you can see now we have our block. We can save it to the quilt. And now we can see that there's 0 of these blocks in the quilt. We can select 4 of these internal blocks and then add our new block to the quilt and see what that looks like. There they are. And when we go back to the left-hand control panel, we can see there's 4 of that block, 20 of the other variations, 0 and 24 here. Now moving on to variation 3, which we can remember is quite a bit different from the other variations. I'm going to clone that original Sawtooth Star, and when we edit the block, we're going to recall that the big difference between this block and the other ones is that there's a half square triangle block instead of a square block in the center. So I'm going to select it and delete it. And we can see here from the gingham that now this is an empty block. I'm going to use the half square triangle piece to make half of the half square triangle. Right off the bat, I'm going to introduce that third fabric link by linking that piece to that fabric link C. I'm going to pop it in the corner and also scale it. Both of these are using the snap feature, so they're going to be really flush. And we can see from the example that then those 2 half square triangles are also using the same fabric link C. I'm going to clone that large half square triangle, rotate it, and then also link it to the green fabric link B, so that's the correct fabric. And then I'm going to relink those corner bows to fabric link C. I'm going to save that to the quilt, and we're going to see that there's 0 of these stars being used. I'm going to quick select and then quickly add that to the whole quilt. So I hope that these 3 examples of how to create block variations using an original idea like the Sawtooth Star will help get you excited about all the possibilities that you can create in Prequilt.